Hello and welcome back to probably shouldn't be recording this episode 9. Um, Today was a motherfucker, and for lack of a better word, lack of a better term. Um, Lots of people calling in sick. There's so many, there's so many viruses and stuff going around right now that yeah, people are just getting sick, and it's affecting. I mean, we had 13 people call out yesterday. So, I mean, it's a it's a sick time, and then those of us that have kids, the kids go and they spread germs to each other, and the kids bring the germs back home, and so yeah, we're feeling that everywhere. Um, Wanted to talk to you guys about a few things. I'm gonna try and mix in some sports and politics and some general life stuff, but firstly, those of you that have listened to this podcast know that I ordered some GLP medication that was shipped from Wuhan, China. And according to most people on a certain side of the political realm, the last thing we got from Wuhan was COVID-19. Um, so yeah, this stuff, I mean, the whole thing was sketchy to me. It was on TikTok, but it wasn't like a direct seller of TikTok on TikTok. It was like a third-party company, so that should have been my first um, clue that it wasn't going to be what it said it was, but it was promising all this stuff and it was relatively cheap. So I said, screw it. Why not? I tried everything else, dieting, exercise, and nothing's really stuck. So I ordered it, and it took about 2.5 weeks to get there, to get to my house. And, oh, I just went over a squirrel that had been squished on the road. I always feel sad in those moments, seeing roadkill, especially if it's a cat. Oh man, I just get a sinking feeling in my stomach when I see a cat that's been run over. It's probably most likely somebody's animal and it's gone. Um, but yeah, anyway, this mystery GLP Wuhan stuff. Um, so it's got basic stuff in it, like berberine and a few other like mild appetite suppressants, and then this one line on the ingredients is like 100 milligrams of GLP. And it's like, that's not how GLP works. I'm not smart enough to get into the science of it, but you can't just put GLP into like a product. Like in this case, it's a liquid. And so it's fine. It's not going to help me lose weight, but I paid money for it, so I'm going to take it all. I've had no other effects. I haven't grown a third eye. Or anything like that. So, yeah, I got swindled, but it wasn't for a lot of money. So I'm not too mad about it. I made the choice to make the purchase, so it is what it is at this point. Yeah, so I thought you guys might want an update on that mystery GLP Wuhan stuff. Uh, Turns out it's just like a mild appetite suppressant, and I've been taking it for a week now, and it's not working. But it's fine. It is what it is. You gotta control the controllables. Did a thing, it didn't work. You move on with your life. I do apologize. I'm losing my voice, or I have the largest frog stuck in my throat, so I've been clearing my throat every 5 minutes. I got, what else do I got written down on my little stickies? Um, let's get into sports real quick. For my fellow Husker fans that listen, I appreciate you guys. How we feeling? Dylan Raiola's gone. He put his name in the transfer portal. And initially, I was kind of down on it because I genuinely felt that they were a better team with Raiola at quarterback. And if he didn't get hurt, they would win the USC game, they'd win the UCLA game, and who knows? But the season would be a whole lot different. But I mean, he got hurt, so we are here in the now, and he is putting his name in the transfer portal. So Nebraska will be looking for a quarterback. What's been bugging me about all of this is Dylan Raiola took a chance coming here. He could have gone to Ohio State, Georgia, wherever, and just been another one of the quarterback in a long line of quarterbacks that wins national championships at these schools. But he took a chance, and he came to Nebraska. And, and I genuinely feel like he busted his ass for 2 years. And he had, this season, he had 2,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And there was, obvious improvement in his game. But he wasn't mobile. So when the line was playing terribly, he was like a statue back there. So he got sacked 7 times against Michigan State, 7 times against Michigan, 9 times against Minnesota. And, he was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the country, but you can't put all of that on him. Yes, you got to get the ball away quicker, got to get it out quicker, but sometimes you should be able to expect your lineman to hold a block for longer than 2 seconds, But all of these quote-unquote Husker fans come out like, glad he's gone, he didn't live up to his potential, this, that, and the other, just kind of like shit-talking him. Where I'm in the camp of, I'm grateful that he came here. It sucks that it didn't work out, but I genuinely feel like he busted his ass when he was here. He brought more name recognition to Nebraska, which is kind of like a dying name. He got recruits excited to come to Nebraska. He did a lot for Nebraska, as much as these fans don't want to admit. He did a lot, and I hope he succeeds elsewhere. I hope he's following his career. I just hope he doesn't go anywhere in the Big Ten. Another thing I wanted to talk about real quick, I'm not going to get too deep into it. The college football playoffs start today. Oklahoma takes on Alabama. I'm going to go with Boomer Sooner, strictly just because I have a dislike for Alabama. Not a hatred, but a dislike. And the other games this weekend, I believe, are Ole Miss versus Tulane. Tulane is without their former head coach Lane Kiffin, who went to coach LSU, and they have hired their defensive coordinator. Can't think of his name at the current moment, but I'm gonna go against the grain, and I'm gonna pick Tulane to go into Ole Miss and win. It's probably not going to happen. I would just something that I would love to see. And then the other game is Oregon versus James Madison. The chaos agent in me wants to see James Madison win that game. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Oregon's going to beat him down pretty good. So those are my picks for the college football playoff. I'm not going to stay too much on it. I know I tend to lose people when I talk about sports. But I mean, sports is a main part of my life. Has been since I was a kid. So I'm probably going to always talk about it on every podcast. Quick update. I was not stopped by the train today. So that's 2 Fridays in a row that the train did not beat me. I defeated it. And the trick to getting a good straw, if you're going to 7-Eleven to get yourself a beverage, use the Slurpee straw. All you got to do is kind of rip off that end part that is supposed to help you scoop the Slurpee into your mouth, and then it becomes a normal straw, but the quality of the straw is much better. I'm not getting holes in my straws when I get these the Slurpee straws. So, I mean, I consider that a win for myself. I'm not having to hold the straw like I'm a little tiny baby. And, it's good. And then something that came out yesterday, which I'm pretty sure is the start of the actual Hunger Games. Donald Trump came out with this idea of, I don't know if it's going to happen, but he wants to call it the Patriot Games. And there's going to be 2 athletes, male and female, from each state that will go and compete in these games. And the winner will be considered the best American Patriot athlete. Or some stupid fucking bullshit that Trump is on. And if that doesn't sound like the beginning of the goddamn Hunger Games, I don't know what does. I mean, I saw somebody reporting on it saying that people were going to send their best 2 athletes from their district. And I was like, that's straight out of the Hunger Games. Which, by the way, is a complete and total ripoff of Battle Royale, which was amazing, by the way. You guys should do yourselves a favor and go watch Battle Royale. It's a Japanese movie. It's fucking incredible. But it's also a lot more violent and dark than the Hunger Games is. But it's good. So definitely go watch Battle Royale. But yeah, I just think that's kind of ridiculous. It's not at all what this country needs to be focusing on. You need to be focusing on all of the other shit that's going on. But I'm going to save that maybe for another episode. This also happens to be my Christmas episode. This will be the last episode I record before Christmas. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you want to be told. I respect it. Happy Xmas, happy all whatever. Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all of the holidays. I hope everybody has a great holiday. Christmas is a holiday that's kind of changed for me over time, especially now that I'm in the parental mode. I don't give a shit what I get. I literally told my wife and daughter, I was like, underwear and socks is totally fine, and I'll be completely happy with it. My wife did say that her and our daughter combined on something, so we'll see. We'll see what I get. I'll be sure to let you guys know. I did team up with my kid to get my wife a pretty good Christmas present that she's been asking for. Not directly, but ever so subtly, And I don't know if that was intentional on her part. I mean, bravo to her if it was, because I picked up on it and I did it. Because I'm a good husband and I listen when my wife speaks. But yeah, now that I'm an adult and I'm more focused on getting kids good stuff. I don't care what I get. Like normally, when I was younger, I wanted video games. I had a huge basketball jersey phase. First one I ever really got was Stephon Marbury Timberwolves jersey. Man, I wore that thing so much. It was worn out. And then not old school, like the Pistons when they had like the horse and the teal blue and all of that. I had a Grant Hill. That was my favorite jersey, I think. Wore that out all the time. But now that I'm an adult, Christmas is about providing for the kids. Because unfortunately for me, I work in transportation, so I will actually be working on Christmas Day. It'll be a super slow day, so I'm not terribly concerned about like what goes on. So we're going to be celebrating on Christmas Eve, which is nice. I think the kids and I will team up to get some kind of food, whether it's Indian or whatever. We tend to do Indian food because it's one of the only places that's open. And we are a house full of Indian food lovers, so that will be awesome. But yeah, I hope everybody has a good holiday. Hope they get nice stuff or are able to get nice stuff for their loved ones. Because to me, that's what it's about. I'm not religious. As I've mentioned before, I'm an atheist. But I like giving people gifts. So I'm okay with Christmas. Unfortunately, it is one of those things that Christmas shopping has gotten me in trouble with credit cards that I used to have, and and it's a reason why a lot of people are in debt is because of we all feel forced to participate in this holiday that was taken from the pagans and religified or whatever you want to call it. But I am not a huge fan on the holiday itself, but being with my family and all of that, that's pretty cool. Because it's, my two oldest kids work, my wife works, I work, so it's hard for us all to just hang out together. So then Christmas provides that because most places are closed. So, except me, because my dumbass will be working at in transportation. So there's that. There's my whole little spiel on on Christmas. What else I got written down in these little notes? Okay, so what I kind of wanted to get into, my main thing, is it's important for all of us, men, women, all people, to know your worth. Know how you deserve to be treated, whether that's at work, whether that's in an actual relationship, whether that's in friendship, whether that's family. Know what you are worth. Because people will do anything, and I use people as like a general term, but there's a lot of people out there that will take advantage of people and treat people like garbage, because the person that's getting treated that way doesn't know any better. And I'm here to say that I have been that person that didn't know his worth for a very long time. I'm also someone who's very negative towards himself. My harshest critic is the voice in my head. And a lot of the stuff that the voice in my head says is absolutely fucking wrong. And it took me a while to understand that and know that. But I know what I provide as an employee, as a husband, as a friend, as a father figure, and I'd like to think I do a pretty good job at everything. But I mean, I've been in relationships where I've been belittled and talked down to and threatened with violence, and and I just sat there and I took it because I didn't believe I deserved any better. And I was wrong. Everybody deserves the best. And when people don't believe that, they will put up with an inordinate amount of shit. And these people that just take and take and take and take. without giving anything. And unfortunately, it took me until I was in my 30s to realize that I'm worth more than I thought. I have value, whether it's as a friend, as a family member, whatever. I have value. These fucking idiots. What gave it away that it was a turn lane? The fucking turn signal that's in the street light? Sorry. Just had like 5 people cut over from the turn lane because they didn't realize it was a turn lane because there was a long line. So people just thought, oh, this is the line that goes to wherever I'm going because there's a long line and everybody else must be going where I'm going. I swear one of these days I'm just going to go to like a movie theater and stand in a line, like start a line and just see who else gets in it and how many people get in there. Anyway, I'm having a little tangent there. But yeah, know your worth. And it's important that you find yourself, whether it's a coworker, a boss, a partner, a family member that sees you for what you're worth and is there to remind you. You know, my wife has to do that for me. I had to do that for her. We got each other. That's important. But I know I realize that I'm lucky, and not a lot of people have that. But it's important for everybody to know that they don't need to be putting up with a lot of bullshit just because that's what they're used to and that's what they think they deserve because they're wrong. We are all going through some shit. We all go through shit. It's all, everybody's got a story. And it's important for us to remember that. And, but yeah, know your worth. Don't settle for anything that you don't think is best for you. And if you don't think it's best for you, get the fuck out. Make changes. And it's a super hokey saying, but life won't change until you change. You got to change the narrative of your own life. Are you going to get in this lane or not? The idiots are out because it's Friday and it's going into a weekend where a lot of people aren't going to be working next week. A lot of people, with 9-to-5 jobs will get the whole week off this week off. So there's a lot more traffic than I'm used to, which is annoying as hell. But, oh, that cloud looks like a blimp. That's pretty cool. My brain is everywhere. I apologize. Yeah, just know your worth. Don't settle. Stand up for yourself. Don't let assholes dictate who you think yourself is. I butchered that. But don't let assholes dictate who you feel you are. Because assholes are wrong. That little voice inside your head, probably wrong as well. So just, don't put up with no shit. Okay? You're awesome. Don't forget that. Oh, man. And another, before I go, so yours truly got into the smallest of accidents in a King Soopers parking lot. I had just gotten a bunch of groceries, got in my car, looked in my rearview mirror, there was nobody there, put my head down, put my car in reverse, looked forward, and I was just about to look in the mirror while I was backing up, going maybe 2 miles an hour, and then my car stops. I'm like, what the hell? And I looked back, and then there was a car. I had backed into a car. And I was, ashamed. I was embarrassed. It's like, I'm better than that. I consider myself a good driver. I'm not somebody who's just going to back into somebody willy-nilly. So, I pull into the parking spot, and get out. And of course, the person I backed into is a sweet old lady. And I go up and I talk to her, and she looks at the damage. It's very minimal. There's a line of blue from my car on hers. And she says, no, it's okay. Don't even worry about it. let's just call it good. And I said, are you sure? Because my conscience wouldn't let me just be like, okay, cool, see ya. I was like, I'll give you my insurance information and everything. And not even 2 seconds after I said, I'll just give you my insurance information, we just hear this voice. Oh, I saw everything. He was not paying attention and he just backed into you. And we turn and it's this, surprise, surprise, this white lady not minding her own business, not letting grown folks handle stuff. And she's telling this older lady, you need to take pictures of his car, your car, his license plate, and you should definitely file a claim on this because this, that, and the other. And like, I kind of tuned her out because I didn't want to say anything mean because it wasn't her business. She should have just minded her own fucking business. But the problem is some of these white ladies. No offense to white people, white ladies, but some of y'all are annoying. I'm married to a white woman, but she wouldn't have gotten involved because it wasn't her business. And this lady pissed me off. So then I get a call from my insurance company and they want a statement or whatever. So I'm going over. I tell them everything's fine, and the insurance person's like, "Is there anything else that you want to share before we end this phone call?" And I said, this wouldn't have even been an issue if that white woman would have just minded her goddamn business. And the insurance agent cracked up. She laughed. She told me that was the funniest thing she had heard in a while. I said, yeah, because I said, white people just need to mind their own business. And I said that as a white people. Like, I'm a white person. But yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I'm covered. The driver car that I hit did have some damage that happened before I backed into them barely. So I'm sure they're going to try and go after my insurance to get that fixed. But my insurance company, I won't name them, but they seem to be taking care of it. So I'm just going to put faith and trust that it'll get taken care of and my rates won't go up too high. That would be awesome. So yeah, that's a lot can happen in a week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Uh, it's it's been a crazy time, and I want to kind of touch base on one last thing before the close of this episode. The holidays are a time that bring up a lot of feelings, especially if you've recently lost a family member, a pet, any kind of loved one, whether it be furry or non-furry. And I just want to say, um, all you guys, just keep your head up. The holidays can be a tough time, especially if you're feeling lonely and alone. Um, if you are, just reach out to someone. If you have someone, and if you don't have someone, feel free to send me an email. I'll have the email address linked in the description, and I will happily do my best to try and help out because the holidays can be a very depressing time, and nobody deserves to be alone during these times, especially when it's President Dumbass is about to start the Hunger Games. So who knows what's going to happen in this world. So just be kind to one another, love one another, don't take no shit, and always stand your ground and set boundaries. But yeah, guys, just wherever you go, take love with you, and I appreciate the listen. I appreciate the love that I've been getting, and until next time, this has been, probably shouldn't be recording this because talking to myself is cheaper than therapy. All right, bye guys. Love you.